Hey, what's happening, everybody? It's your old pal, Mr. Butter. We officially made it to the weekend. The day this video drops, I think the Racer Blue 5s will be dropping. I secured a pair at my local Finish Line, so watch for a review to come of them. Probably Super Bowl Sunday, maybe Monday. But be sure to stay tuned and check that out. Today I'd like to talk about another retro basketball shoe. I never knew about the 550 until recent years when they got real popular, but I love them. It's one of my favorite beater shoes. I think it's a great pair of shoes to pick up when you can get them for retail, and I happen to find these on YCMC. I think it's interesting because this version of the 550, the color blocking on these reminds me of one of my favorite colorways of another OG basketball sneaker, but I'll show you more about that when we get into it. If you're into kicks and you feel like hanging out, then hit that subscribe button. Let's look at these New Balance 550s in a black and gray colorway. Alright, so like always, the New Balance box is nothing to talk about. It's gray. This one's a little bit destroyed, but I don't care because these are going on feet here real soon. The tag reads BB550 SR1, and that's about it. Never get too much detail on these. I think retail was $110, somewhere around there, which I think is a great price for this shoe. Materials are never, mind-blowing or anything, but I think they're priced reasonably at $100. And like I mentioned in the intro, this colorway of this shoe reminds me so much of one of my favorite basketball silhouettes in one of my favorite colorways. And let me show you what I'm talking about. We have the Shadow 1 mids. And shout out to Finish Line, they ended up getting more sizes in. I struck out online whenever they dropped recently, but I went one day and they just happened to have a size 10 and I was all over it. So I got my own size in these. We've got the Shadow 1 Low golf shoes, and I haven't done a review on these. I did do a review of the triple white Jordan 1 Low golf shoes, and just like those, the materials on these things are bonkers. I wish we got this material all the time. However, this is going to be the pair that I wear this year whenever I'm golfing, but I want to do it on foot and show you what these things look like, so stay tuned for that. Hi buddy, how are you, my love? Hi, how are you? Hi my man, I love you. And then check this out. We got the Shadow New Balance 550s. Tell me this thing doesn't remind you of those other two shoes that I just showed you. I mean, with the black mudguard and that gray base, even the grays are pretty close to each other. But whenever I saw pictures of these online, I immediately just thought, well, that's like a Shadow 550. So I was really happy to see that they had my size. I think these are still available at a handful of retailers too. So if you're interested, then by all means, I think it's a great shoe for that $100 price point. Do you like these, buddy? Yeah. Do you? I do too. But I've never had the OG Shadow 1s. I've always liked those OG Shadow 1s. I did have the Shadow 2.0s, but I didn't care for them too much. But I think this is just a great color combination. And as much as I love the 550, it was a no-brainer whenever I saw this shoe for retail sitting in my size. I just knew I was going to pick it up. But starting with this outsole, it's got a very 80s looking outsole. And I think these came out in like 89 or something. But it really reminds me of like also the Adidas Artillery outsole. It's just got a really kind of exaggerated and chunky looking tread pattern. But even these colors mashed up together, it really just reminds me of the 80s. But like a lot of basketball shoes in that era, like Dunks, Jordan 1s, Adidas Form 84s, it's got this little pivot point or kind of suction cup area. and then, you know, the rest of the tread just kind of comes off of that. But there in the midfoot, in a cream color, it says non-marking sole, and it says New Balance down at the bottom. What are you talking about down there, man? You can see those colors wrap up a little bit to meet this cream midsole, and there you can see some New Balance labeling. It says New Balance, and then you got that classic NB a little bit behind that. And the midsole is like a cream color, but as you come around to the inside of the shoe, you can see that foam area in the midfoot is a bright white color. So there you can really tell that the midsole is more of like a cream, which I like. But then coming up from that cream midsole, we get to this black mudguard or this black toe cap, and most of the overlays up here on the upper are black. It's a leather, and it's your standard 550 leather. I think it's a little bit nicer than what we typically get on Jordan 1 mids and Jordan 1 lows, but it's not buttery or anything. What I do like is just how neat it is. I think these things look really, really good, really clean. The stitching always looks nice, and the edges of all the overlays always look nice and clean. But you've got black on the mudguard, black on the side. I like these little areas that have the white piping around them. I think that's a cool little touch, nice little accent. And then the 550 here on the side, it looks like it's reflective. Like last night, whenever I was looking at these things when it was dark and I was inside, the light seemed like it was really catching those 550s, and I think that's reflective, which is a pretty cool touch. But then going up the side, you've got more of that black leather, and then you've got black leather wrapping around the heel, and I think that NB looks pretty dope in those colors there on the back. But then on the toe box, you'll see that we've got this nice gray colored leather, and it's got real small perforations, but I think that color combination is just really nice looking on that toe. I think we've got a darker shade of gray up here around the collar area surrounding this gray kind of mesh material that we have up around the collar. And then that classic N on the side is also in a darker gray color, and it's bordered by like a white leather just to make it pop a little bit. Looks nice. And then on the back, we've got a little heel anchor back here, and it's in a dark gray and then a black color. It kind of changes color going around the back there. But that's a neat little touch as well. The tongue is the same tongue that we've been getting in 550s. It's just like a canvas or like a mesh material, but it's more padded than what you'll have on like Jordan 1s or even Dunks. The tongue is black, and it's got black piping going around the edges of it, and then up there on the tag, it's white, gray, and black, and it's got that New Balance basketball emblem, and it says New Balance 550. It's got a very retro look to it. But then the laces are flat black, and the sock liner is black, and that Ortholite insole is black with white branding. And I really like those Ortholite insoles. I think they provide really good cushioning.